Doomsday device. Blast-Attak. Doomsday device. Kaboom! And people go flying. My head goes flying.
Hey Hebrew fans, this is Todd, and good news, I got Blast-Attak for Origins. Boom, 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 boom. It's right here, and you can tell it's Blast-Attak by this cool little silhouette right here. And so we are going to open this up and compare him to the original vintage figure and the classics and see if his plunger for the new figure fits into the old figure's back. It should be cool to see, because as you guys know, I need more plungers for my Fort Kernum. So let's go ahead, without further ado, get this box open and see what this is all about and check him out. Where are my scissors? There they are. Now it's nice that Mattel started adding the silhouettes on the boxes so you can actually see what's in them. I have a bunch of boxes that don't have the silhouettes on there and I don't know what's in them. So I always got to search the QR code, or not a QR code, the barcode, and see what figure's in the box. And hopefully it still matches in the future. But for right now, let's open this up. Dun 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 da 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 da. Now, this may sound funny. I know I said I'm not collecting a lot of the vintage or the Origins anymore, but I am really glad to have this guy for a number of reasons. One is, I mentioned last video, this gold plastic on here. It actually is made with metal chunks in it, little small ones, micro, that degrade the plastic very easily. And people are finding these things just exploding on them, especially if you store them under a load. And so I had a friend who we were talking about how cool would it be just to cast these pieces and remake them for people that need them. Well, now that we have a new figure, ding, and it's the same size, no real casting required. You can just use this guy, and if you want, you can alter him to retrofit all these parts back on if you really, really wanted to, or just leave him the way he is. So I'm really glad they released him, just for those reasons of the old one is falling to pieces in most people's collection. Here's the back. Oh, it's resealable. I almost just ripped it off the front. Look at that. Oh, are they going to have these guys? No way, the spinning top guys. Here's one here, there's one there. I wonder if they're coming out next. Because if they are, that'll be cool, because I have two classics that came in a 2-pack that don't actually spin. If they fix the top so it works, I may have to retrofit my guys. I tried using those tops that battle. I forgot what they're called now. It didn't work. They're way too small. All right, let's pull this off. Shink. And let's see. We have a comic and directions in a baggie. And oh, look at that. They actually have the directions. Put it in, push the bottom, put it together, and there he is. Ping, 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 the 4-step program. Well, actually only 3 steps listed here, but all right, here's the parts that come off. Just the arms, the head, and the boots, not the legs or the waist. And he comes with the plunger and his, oh, I forgot what that's called. Does it have the name on there? Contents, instructions. Nope, they don't say what it's called. I think it's a halberd. Halberd? Maybe. Anyway, you guys will post in the comments, I'm sure. All right, let's pull them out of here. If I ever get out of here. So first off, he has his cool techno halberd. And let's see if it fits in the vintage hand, just out of curiosity in case you lost yours and you want to. Oh, it does. So in case you lost yours, you can just grab a new one and toss it on your vintage figure instead of paying a fortune for a repo. And now let's get him out of here. All right, let's talk about articulation, because it's going to be a little different on this guy than we're used to. So we have ankle articulation. We have the boot cut. We have a single jointed knee, which also rotates sideways too, so you can have him sit Indian style if you want. His leg moves up at the hips. Waist does not turn. We have shoulder movements. It's very limited though. Very, very limited. And then we have an elbow joint. And we have this little piece going across here, which I could see that breaking. Yeah, look at that. Just from moving it, it started to turn a little white right here in the bottom corner. And then we have a wrist that goes back and forth on this side. Oh yeah, that is going to break really soon. Oh, it just came off. Well, that's good. I'm glad it came off instead of snapping. And then we have an elbow joint on this side too. And of course his head moves. All right, so let's put his staff in his hand. It fit better in the vintage hand than it did his. There we go. Oh, too close. There we go. All right. Now, I'm not liking his head. Let's take a look at this together. So, here we have the two heads. And I admit the original head was a little doofy, but with those teeth sticking out, it just looks ultra doofy. Whereas the classics, he's got the teeth too, but it's not quite as doofy looking. Anyway. So not a fan of the crazy looking teeth, the way they designed them on there, but that's okay. Let's see his action in action. Oop, oop, oop. Knocking the camera everywhere. So let's first try it in the actual figure it's made for. Here we go. I got the plunger right here. And let's test this thing out. Stand, man, stand. We'll see what the blast radius is. All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1, fire in the hole. Oh, that was a little unimpressive. Oh yeah, the spring is not very tight on it at all. It's actually a very, just barely holds it together spring. Which is kind of good, because you don't have to worry about it destroying itself. There's not a lot of pressure on there. And see if he can stand by himself. This half should be able to stand easily. He has the staff to help stand him. There we go. But this half, last time it was really hard to make him stand because his head was so big. Being he has more joints to move in the other figure, it should be easier to stand. Yeah, that ain't gonna work. Let's try us again. Let's try us again, shall we? Let's get the side first. Come on. Stand up there, man. Oh, so close. Yeah, it's pretty hard to make him stand. All right, so you have to have him popping like that. Fun. All right, let's check it now and compare the blasting effect, or the blasting blaster cord. So here is the new one, and here is the original one. And they do look quite a bit different. Yeah, their spacing is different. Wah, wah, wah. Yep, no way it's going to work in there. Bummer, 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 Mattel. If you would have made that work, it would have been awesome. Let's go and try the old one now. And let's blast him accordingly. Here we go. Zoop.
Blast-Attak! 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 Blast-Attak!
Yeah, you can really feel the difference. That just pshink, it explodes apart. You can feel the spring is so much tighter on this. So I'm curious if this one right here fits in there. It does. You can put the classics one in there. That's funny. Of course, it doesn't do anything, but it's similar spacing. Too bad the classics one actually work, but oh well. All right. So let's try it again, just because it's fun. It's like he just falls apart instead of explodes. That's it. I'm going to have to do it in slow motion for both of these. You just feel the difference when you push this. I know from the video it may look the same, but trust me, this one here, when you push the button, you can just feel the explosion. See, look at how much pressure you have to push on here. And this one here is like almost, there's very little pressure. The only hard part is the clasping part. But as far as the spring goes, it's not much at all. Now I feel like I have all these iPhones lined up. All the chords are different.
Blast-Attak! 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 Blast-Attak!
Still fun. Not as much fun. Alright, so let's talk about plans. He obviously has the mechanical parts on the inside, and he has these arms. Let's pull those off. Ugh. Okay, cool. So I'm just curious, size-wise. That is really, really close. He is the same height, but he's not as wide. So here's what I am thinking. Here's my plans. How do you get this armor off? They glued it on? Really? Okay, anyway, my plans are to cut this armor in half. All the way along the seam. There's a seam here and a seam there. And then put the armor over this one and sand it accordingly and maybe make some Bondo type stuff to make it fit just right. This arm sticks out further on the classics, so I'd somehow have to make it so the arm just comes out a little bit. And then after it's all bondoed and put together, then I would have the internals being the one that actually works to blast apart the classics one that has the new armor on it. And I think that would be cool. I may take the shorts off too. And like I said, I bought a bunch of extras of these to someday make an exploding version. And I wasn't sure how I was going to make it. I wonder. I probably should not push it together. They are really close though. Here's the vintage, here's the new one. They do line up pretty close. How about the other side? Oh, the head hits before. But that could be cool. It's funny, even the vintage is wider than the new one. See, look at this. You could see the vintage one is still wider than the new one. I think it's the shoulders up here. Yeah, just the chest shoulder area. Excuse me. So that is my plan. My plan is to use the Origins one to augment my Classics one so it can actually blast apart like it's supposed to. And that will be cool. Now, because his bottom part is wider, it may not work exactly how I want. It may take some sanding to get to fit just right. Because they did use the robot body from the Horde Troopers for his body underneath. So, but yep, I have to very carefully cut that armor off. And they already got a seam for me to use, so I can just follow along that seam. Use some hot water so it cuts easy. Use my X-Acto knife to get it just right. And that will be cool. All right, well, that is all that I have. So that's it. Oh, the comic. Oh, wait, you know what? I'm going to talk about the plungers really quick. Also, they're different lengths. You can see here, here's the plungers at one end. And as you stretch them out, you can see the longer one is the vintage one. The shorter one is the new one. So they are just a little bit different in length. Yeah. Also, the new one's a lot bigger grasping hand than the small one, and the vintage one. Weird. Bump, bump, bump. Bump, 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 bump. Bump, bump. All right. Okay, now that's all I got. Thanks for joining me. Like they say in the 1987 movie, wah, 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 wah. Good journey. All right. Thanks for joining me. Bye now.
If you found enjoyment, like, subscribe, and ring the bell. Do it.
Doomsday device.